Welcome into the I-80 Boys College Football Show. As always, I'm your host, Christian Hunt, and that is
I'm not exactly sure who I am right now, but I what I do know is I was going to introduce you as the sad sack of shit that you are, Jared Lorenzen 2.0, as you put as your name today. So, Christian, how you doing, buddy? What's good?
man. I'm doing fantastic. So listen, right before we get started there. By the way, that was way too damn long. I mean that is just way too damn long right there. No wonder. What did you get on the SAT in high school, man?
Oh, so
it doesn't matter.
So here's the funny thing to answer your question. They did do SATs here, but it was all about the ACT. And because I was a dumb fuck, I actually drank like literally 8 beers before I took it, like an idiot on a Saturday. And I got like a 19, which is pretty much what you get for like actually like putting your name on it. So it did get me into college, D1, but pretty rough. What about you though? Now I'm actually curious now that you brought that up.
I thought, when they said you have to do SATs and ACTs, I thought we had to go to a play on Saturday is really what I thought it was. Right. Needless to say, hey, neither one. I went D4 over here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Small liberal arts college, no football team. That's neither here nor there, okay?
Right. Let's get on. Yeah.
Let's get on to it.
Yeah, let's get on.
We did want to start the show off with something very pertinent here, and that was we might have been a little bit wrong on one of the last clips that we put out as far as Dylan Raiola. Now, before we get going any further, I did say every time we bring him up on the show that we'll take a shot. Chris, unfortunately, is being a little bitch. He doesn't have any hard liquor over there in his house. I can't say I'm much better. I have some vanilla vodka, so I'm going to have to. Oh, don't worry, I've got Michelob Ultra. I'm trying to cut for obviously for a 40-yard dash that we're going to be running, as you well know. So
I can't wait.
So before I get into this, let me just
finish the rest of my beer because I have to because as you call me a bitch.
It's actually really not bad. I was knocking it. It's my wife's vanilla vodka, but whatever. So
it's actually yours, but go on.
Yeah, you're right. I had to. She had to be my beard for this. Listen, let's before we get started, I want to apologize. We might have been a little bit wrong or a little quick in saying that Dylan Raiola had canceled his trip to Georgia. Leading up to that point, everything we'd read, everything that we dug into, and a lot of the sources that we kind of know had told us, unfortunately, it looked like that was true. He did cancel. So after doing a little bit of digging and kind of getting some of the response back from that, if we were wrong on that, we're sorry. It was very hard to find any information. Everything I found was through Twitter. So, hey, it is what it is. If it affected you, we're sorry. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to somebody else who's also pretty pissed off at Dylan Raiola at this point, and that's Ohio State versus Michigan. Okay, Chris, let's look here for an overview of the series. Okay, we're going to be breaking down Ohio State versus Michigan, looking at that rivalry, what's led up to current day.
Well, here's the thing, man, Christian. I know, me and you don't see eye to eye all the time, right? It's also because you're, what are you, an inch taller than me, and at least easily 100 pounds bigger. You lie about that 306 when you're coming in here. We all know you're at least 330 for sure. Go ahead and interject on your weight. Here we go.
Listen, I'm at least 3 inches taller than you. I think it's above average as far as height's concerned. You wouldn't know anything about that. But the other side of it is I'm at least, I would say under 100 pounds bigger than you.
Okay. All right. Well, where it really matters in inches, we won't go into that discussion, but hey, here we are. So, as I see it, I know the history. I already know you're taking Ohio State. You've been a dick rider for a while about CJ Stroud. I've heard you in the past about all the wide receivers and all that. And I know that you guys, won 15 out of 16 up until 2 years ago. Jim Harbaugh's turned it around, bro. He has. And I truly believe this year you got Corum back, bro. And I love that kid a lot. And I think he's going to finish top 5 in the Heisman. He didn't play in the playoff game against TCU, which I'm not saying the Edwards kid didn't play well, because he did. I think Michigan actually played really well. I actually think I'm going to make this really short about Michigan in the history. I understand that any team that anybody is watching this podcast understands that, like, if you have a team you're rooting for, we all have rivalries, right? And I'm not even an Ohio State or Michigan guy. I just truly think that Jim Harbaugh's kind of turned that thing around. Ryan Day did well in his first 2 years. I believe he went 2-0 against Jim. Jim's flipped the script. I think this year, I believe it is at Michigan, the big house. I think they got it this year. And I think it's because, honestly, the turning point to me, honestly, in that game, Ohio State is without CJ Stroud. Yes, they got the wide receivers, some of those guys back, Harrison and those guys, Fleming and those dudes. I think it's JJ McCarthy, man. I thought he played really well in that bowl game. He did make some piss poor throws and throw some interceptions. That was kind of the game where I said, man, this kid can kind of run, and he is a damn good athlete back there. I think he's got a little moxie. I know you're going to disagree with me, and I love it. Give me your take on Ohio State and why they're going to win this year.
Well, let's get back before we do that. Let's take a look back here at the actual rivalry in the series. Okay, Michigan. Okay, right now I just want to give you some facts on it. Michigan leads the series at 60-51. All right, the actual overall series 60-51-6. Okay, Michigan's coming off a 2-game win streak versus Ohio State, which previously snapped an 8-game Ohio State win streak. By the way,
right.
13 times in this rivalry. 13 times the game's been played with both teams being ranked inside the top 10. Here's a stat, and I think this is the most important thing.
Stat for himself. Here we go.
Exactly. By God, I get down. All right, I'm a ball hog for these stats. Listen, here's the reality of the situation. Ryan Day has only won once in this rivalry as a head coach.
He didn't win the first two?
No, he won the first year, but they didn't play in 2020 because of COVID. He took over in 2019.
You're right.
So,
okay.
Would he have probably won? Maybe, possibly. I'd like to think so. That team was pretty good, right?
That was.
Here's the other side of it, right? And Chris, I want to kind of turn this back into you. So now we've looked at what's led up to this. It's been a bunch of ass whippings. Kind of talk to me again. What's your take on Michigan again in 2023? What do you expect?
I will say this: their schedule is trash. It's going to be easy. I don't think Ohio State is that. I mean, it's tougher, but I honestly think Michigan wins this game, and I'm telling you why, man. Home field advantage. I'm going to give you that one. I don't have the stats pulled up currently. It's a big house, man, and I just think that Jim Harbaugh, man, is like this thing. Like this, man. You followed anybody that's been watching that knows anything about football, man. Jim Harbaugh is getting asked to go to the NFL every fucking year, bro. I know he came back there. That was I think he was on the hot seat a couple of years ago. It was like, I think in his contract, it's like, you have to beat Ohio State, right? I mean, that was the big thing. He's done it the last 2 years. Does that mean he's going to do it this year? No, that's not a guarantee. I just like the pieces that Michigan has coming back versus kind of an unknown quarterback room back there with Ohio State. I'm not saying that Ohio State isn't going to be good this year or isn't going to be relevant. No, not at all. I think they're definitely going to be. Ryan Day is a hell of a head coach. I think Michigan gets this one. A lot of it I put on the home field advantage. And I know last time we saw Michigan get their fucking doors blown off on defense against TCU. But I think they get this one this year again. And actually turn the tide a little bit, bro. It isn't a rivalry unless, both teams are winning, bro. It's not this, I know it was previous today where it was just an ass kicking of Ohio State over Michigan, but Michigan still leads that series, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. Michigan still does lead the series in recent history, exactly like you said. Ohio State's got that ass. Here's my take on Michigan. This is just some quick observations. Offense is going to have to carry this team. I mean, they really do. They're going to have to be able to throw the ball in big games because, look, at the end of the day, most of the teams you play in the Big Ten, they've got pretty decent front sevens, and they can sort of stop. They can stuff you. Now, granted, what do they do really well? They run the football really well. They have 2-3 electric running backs who are really awesome. I mean, two of which are up for a Heisman, this year. Yeah. Could be.
Yeah.
So I think that they're going to have to figure that portion of it out. The other side of it, to me, Chris, is they're similar. When I was breaking down and I was looking at Ohio State and I was looking at a lot of these different setups between Ohio State and Michigan, they're very similar, believe it or not, to Ohio State. They do have I would say probably the biggest question mark is their secondary. They're going to have to get their secondary figured out and really shored up. Look, here's my reality on it. And this is going to piss some Michigan fans off. That's fine. I get it, right? But even you have to admit, when you look at these teams and you break down the rosters from a talent standpoint, I don't think they're – and granted, this is a team that I believe did pretty damn good last year. If I'm not mistaken, they made it all the way to the college football playoff. Majority of those guys are coming back. This is still a team to me that I look across the board and I'm like, wow, you've got some big names in the running back room, but who's that guy? Who's that elite playmaker for Michigan that really jumps off the board at you on either defense and or on offense, other than those two running backs?
Right.
I struggle to find it. I don't think – and they have some good wide receivers. Not great, not excellent.
Is David Bell back? The guy, the wide receiver they had last year. Is he back? I can't believe I don't know this off the top of my head. I think he is. I'm gonna find out here in a second. I thought he was actually very underrated last year. I think it's his name. It's not. Is it? It's not David Bell. What the hell is his name? The guy that had that whiteout. This is terrible. I feel like a fucking idiot on this podcast, not knowing exactly his name. Everybody knows. I think he wore number 7 or whatever the hell he was. Here's my thing, though. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. A lot of people are going to look at Blake Corum and go, "Yeah, this guy, Edwards." Did you not? I guess here's what I'm gonna dial this down even a little bit tighter, Christian, since you got such a hard on for Ohio State. Were you not impressed with JJ McCarthy in the playoffs?
I mean, listen, from what I can see with it, I mean, he did all right, but
you weren't that impressed. No. But I mean,
yeah,
Michigan put up some fucking points in that game. It wasn't their offense that was a problem. It was their fucking defense.
Right. And that's the problem, right? It's look, at the end of the day, you should put up 60, 70 points on TCU. You want to be elite?
The problem between me and you got that fucking boner that is knocking over tables and you can't even get through a doorway because of what Georgia did, your boys did to TCU. I mean, you were the guy that came on here. I mean, is a fucking second string better than, TCU's, first string? Come on, bro. That was
they were knocking them down. Listen, let me ask you a question. Look, I can see you getting upset over there. It's all right.
Look, I'm not upset about it, bro. I'm just saying you got such a hard on for Georgia in that last game against TCU. Did you bet TCU in that game? On one of your bets?
Yeah. I figured I'd win either way. I'm a Georgia fan. Fuck it. Why not?
The cock on this guy. I mean, but did you really deep down in your heart think, yeah, TCU's got a shot, man? I know I told you last year before the season started, Georgia's the best team in college football until somebody proved me wrong. And nobody proved me wrong last year.
Listen, did I think TCU had a shot? Maybe. Crazier shit's happened. I mean, let's just be real. It has. Supposedly, right? And what you're saying is, don't get me wrong. I think Michigan's offense was they were all right. Here's the reason why I say that. You're letting a fourth-year walk-on in Stetson Bennett, who, again, I think is very underrated for what he does, right?
Right.
He picked them apart. So you're telling me right now, with worse running backs, and don't get me wrong, they're good running backs down there at the University of Georgia, but you're telling me from bigger name standpoint, Kenny McIntosh, Kendall Milton, Branson Robinson, those are bigger names than Blake Corum, Dylan Edwards? Is that what you're telling me?
I think Blake Corum is better than any running back you guys got.
I agree with you. I think Dylan Edwards arguably will be up there.
But I also think that Michigan's offensive line, which if you haven't paid attention, and I know you've been sucking off the SEC for the last how many years, I don't think that they're as good as Michigan's offensive line. I thought Michigan's offensive line was fine. And like I said, I don't have the stats here to pull up everybody back, but they kind of reload every year, man. A lot of those guys are finding themselves in the NFL. I just think, and get down to, Michigan's expectations, I know their schedule is PUD, right? And it doesn't, that sucks for my argument. I don't have, you're not fucking playing anybody. It makes it hard when it comes down to that kind of Ohio State game where it's kind of the make or break. I think both teams will be undefeated when they play each other in that game. I truly do. I just think with Michigan, I thought J.J. McCarthy personally in that game showed me that he can play under the brightest of lights, and I thought he played well, barring the turnovers. The kid's young. He's not a great passer. He reminds me more of a running quarterback. But, man, he's athletic back there, and athletic quarterbacks have a lot of success against Ohio State. The Big Ten's not really known for athletic quarterbacks. This isn't the SEC. I think I got a little leeway there, and I keep telling you, man, I know it's not the end-all, be-all, but being in the big house, I think Michigan's got a really good chance of winning this, and I truly would put my money in that game, whatever the fuck the spread is. Up to that point, I would put my money on Michigan to win that game.
Well, first of all, I'm looking at his stats right now. He had 2 interceptions in that game, took 3 sacks.
He did.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the kid had a 76.4 QBR in that game. Look, here's the reality of the situation, and this is not too unsimilar to what Ohio State's been going through the last couple of years, is turnovers in big games. And I'm not saying, look, if he has 1 turnover, okay, but your defense has to come to play. I mean, that's the reality of it. The Michigan, every year in and year out, has multiple guys that get drafted on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not saying that they're without talent. Okay, I want to make sure that's very well known right now. I'm not saying Michigan does not have good defensive talent. I am just saying, for whatever reason, they get in big games against people and they start folding like a bunch of bitches in the wind. Okay, and I don't even know if that's a saying. I'm just saying they have got to figure it out. The other side of this, and I will concede this. I think he looked all right. Am I going to go out of my way and say, hey, he put himself on that pedestal? Like, did he have the same performance that C.J. Stroud had against Georgia last year in a playoff game?
No.
Because that is the measure that you have to really do.
Agreed. And what you're saying isn't wrong, but I'm going to argue with your ass anyway, because I think you're full of shit. C.J. Stroud, if he was so fucking good, why didn't he beat him last year? Michigan won that goddamn game. Why didn't? Oh, wait, your boy that you've been, giving a smooth hand job to didn't beat him the year before either. So my point is I seriously think Michigan has kind of established a turnaround in that fucking God. They were getting their ass kicked there for years by Ohio State. I truly feel like this is kind of a 50-50 coin flip game. I know we haven't seen any football. There's going to be a lot of football played up until that point because it's always late in the season. I truly believe in my heart. Like I just think Michigan has a little bit more experience. The quarterback position is very important to me in college football. In my take, obviously it's not yours. You just feel like you could just Ohio State could throw Jared Lorenzo 2.0, which would be you back there, and you guys are competing for a fucking national title. I mean, am I wrong?
Listen here, if you don't sit your geriatric looking ass down, it's past your bedtime. All right, like let's calm down.
You're not wrong.
No, I think, and I will agree with you on this. I think quarterback position is one of the most. You got to have a returning quarterback. You got to have some production there. It is very hard. It is very hard to fight for a playoff spot when you have a first-year quarterback. It can be done, but it's really difficult.
Right.
And don't get me wrong. Here's the problem I have, and this transitions, I think, beautifully over with it, is that weak-ass schedule.
It is weak.
We know it. We all know sometimes you can have a weak schedule, and it comes back to bite you later on down the road because you get lulled into this soft sense of we're good, we're really good, and then you get that bully that comes around the corner and knocks your ass out for your lunch money.
So to interrupt you on the schedule, obviously Ohio State, you would say, is a tougher schedule this year, right? Just looking at there you go. You pulled it up. I mean, Michigan, who is their only threat in there? You think Penn State maybe?
Penn State, possibly. I think Purdue, Michigan State. I mean, they're always tough games. Maryland, I think that Tagovailoa kid's coming back, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. Yes, they got a couple guys back there, but yes.
I want you to go ahead and throw your record prediction out here, Chris. What do you think?
Looking at it now, just right in front of me. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 games here. I truly believe with Michigan's schedule, they're undefeated before the Ohio State game. Why? Is because I think they have enough experience coming back. Their defense is going to be a little questionable with a question mark, in my opinion. But Maryland doesn't scare me enough because I could go down the road to Maryland, dude. They got talent on the offensive side, but every big game, they fucking lay an egg. Penn State is the one game to me outside of Michigan State, because that game is a bloodbath. You've seen the shit afterwards on those two teams. That is a very that's a fun game to watch. Regardless of record, throw it out the window, basically. But I truly think they're undefeated before Ohio State. That schedule, as much as I love my Skurs, not happening this year. So I see them undefeated 10-0 before Ohio State, or 11.
I'll say this. Oh boy, I will say this. I think you're undercrediting the Nebraska team over there. I mean, I think you are. Just
God. Are you laying? Do we need to make a bet here? Are you fucking saying my Skurs have a chance?
I'm saying they do. Okay, let me throw something else at you. A couple years ago. Now, this is not recent. Okay, this is a couple years ago, right? You guys took Michigan down to the wire, did you not?
We took everybody in the top 10 down to the wire. Christian, do you not remember?
Right.
It ended up with an L.
Now hold on. Now I'm not trying to jump on that bandwagon of we're the best 3-9 team ever to touch the earth.
Fuck. I don't even.
That's not
3-9. It's not even. You say that. It's just irrelevant to me.
I'm the best 300-pound plus quarterback that's ever walked in North America. Okay, second. Yeah, I fucking get it.
Second.
Yeah, second.
Thank you.
I'm a body double for my boy Jared Lorenzen. Anyways, listen. Here's the reality of the situation. I would argue that team that Nebraska took to the wire a couple of years back probably going to be better just overall than this team is right here.
Okay, I can ride with that.
So I'm just saying now the roster is going to look a lot different. I think this Nebraska team, they can pull off some upsets throughout the year. I'm not saying they're going to upset everybody. I'm not going to say they're going to go undefeated, but if I don't know, they could really come to play in a big game like this. It's at Nebraska. This could be one of those trap games. I'm not going to pick them to lose that game, okay, just because we're doing this. And I don't want to take some weird bet where I end up bleaching my hair or get frosted tips or some weird shit like that. We'll get down to that.
We can do that.
We'll get down to that. I got a better idea for how we're going to – because we are going to bet this, by the way. So we got to keep some of these bets alive.
Put your money where your mouth is, bro. That's all I got to say.
Here's my thing. I think they finish I get one shot at this, don't I?
Yeah, I'm saying, but before the Ohio State game, I'm saying 11-0. I think that's right? There's 12 games there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Going back and forth with this, give me 9-3.
Can we make a bet now?
No, we gotta wait. Dadgummit. I know you want to bet on this. But give me a second. We'll bet on what matters here. We'll bet on the game, not the season of the game.
Okay, all right. I'll ride with that.
Here's the situation. 9-3. I got losses at Ohio State, Penn State, and a surprise upset somewhere along the way.
All right, fuck it. Yeah, that's fine. You can take that, and you're going to be holding your little wiener between your legs when it gets to Ohio State because we're 11-0. And I can't believe I'm saying about Michigan, but here we are.
This is like kissing your cousin, for you, right?
Well, yeah, I know. I didn't approve that you two got married, but here we are. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about that as I said it, and then I was like, oh man,
yeah, you walked yourself right into that one, bro. But here we are.
Anyways, so I'll turn it over here for you, Chris. I'll do the right thing. Ohio State and what to expect in 2023 with them. I didn't really know what to expect when I started covering them. When I started doing the research into this, here's the stats, as you like to so say. I'm a stat whore for whatever. It doesn't bother me. It's okay to be well informed. Ohio State has had a top 5 offense every year since Ryan Day took over. I don't think that's going to change this year. Here's one thing. I'm going to kind of throw some bad stuff out here first and kind of go back and forth a little bit with it. They haven't had a quarterback controversy in the Ryan Day era. It was Justin Fields, although they said he's got to battle it out. We knew it was going to be Justin Fields. CJ Stroud after Justin Fields. Clear cut guy.
Yep.
Right now, it's Kyle McCord versus Devin Brown. They're both really talented guys. I think Brown's yet to throw a pass in a collegiate game. McCord's thrown like 20 passes. it's really going to depend, and it's really going to be a fun battle to watch and see who ends up winning that. All right. Here's the other side of it. They have, and this is a bold prediction here, they have the best wide receiver room in America, hands
Agreed.
down.
No. You will not find anybody that, or sorry, you won't find me disagreeing with that. I am a big Marvin Harrison Jr. kid. You know, that guy can fucking play, dude. That kid can fucking play. Sorry, I completely mutilated that, but yeah, I know that kid can fucking play.
Are 100% right. It's okay. Like you said, they've got Marvin Harrison Jr., they've got Emeka Abuka, they've got Julian Fleming.
There's the other guy. Yep.
Fleming. They've got a 5-star in Brandon Inniss, who was one of the best receivers last year in the entire class. But then they also bring back tight end Cade Stover. No, he's not really a wide receiver, but
no, he's good though. That dude, he's not a scrub. Let's put it that way.
Under Day, they've been 45-6. This is where this gets a little bit concerned. I'm gonna throw some bad stuff out here for you now. I'm gonna give you some bait to debate me with here.
Don't need it. But go for it.
They've under Ryan Day, they've had a 1-3 playoff record. Okay, that's the bad there. They've had a 1-3 playoff record. I don't like that. The defense has gotten them in trouble during his tenure in big games. Now, here's the reality of it. When you look at the defensive statistics, they don't look that bad. They've been top 50 in defense, right? You think, okay, and they've been as high as probably top 15 a couple of years in different defensive statistics. I firmly believe they play just like Michigan. They play these soft-ass schedules. They don't play anybody. They get in, they look really good, and then they play Michigan, Georgia, and maybe Penn State or Maryland or somebody like that. They play a couple of really good offenses every year, and they get lit up, and they have to win a shootout. And to me, it's very Lincoln Riley-esque. Okay, it's like Oklahoma pretty much, except the only difference is they've won one playoff game. Then Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley have not in this new structure. Here's the other side of it. Jim Knowles has got to have this team taking a step forward here. I like this defense, okay? They've got some good names out there. They've got, oh, Lord, JTT, who's a defensive end for him. I mean, that guy was all over the field last year. I remember it seemed like every game I watched, he was getting interceptions. He was getting after the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Great player. They have a linebacker who, again, even as a Georgia fan, this name still stands out to me, Tommy Eichenberg. That guy's going to be, being your defensive captain back there. I like him. But just like we said earlier, they need to get their secondary figured out.
That was where I was going with this right there. You just said it. Go ahead.
My point with it is, and I'll turn it back over to you, and in summation, I feel like I'm giving a PowerPoint presentation back at class. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the reality of the situation here. They have to be able to put all this together. Okay. To me, I think the reason why they win, why I would take Ohio State over Michigan, even though, yes, they have to figure out a quarterback position, they're a much more talented version of Michigan.
Wow. You're going to end on that, huh? You're going to throw that back to me with that shit?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think, just because of that, you think that their defense finally, Ohio State's defense is going to fucking show up once in a big game? That's what you're telling me. You're basing it off an assumption that Ohio State's defense is going to come through. Now, I'm not disagreeing with the kids that do have on defense. They do have some players, right? I would argue that Michigan's got some players too. And they also, I think, honestly, Michigan's offense is going to be more prolific it's not going to be as fun to watch because they don't have the wide receiver coordinator. They play a totally different offense, right? Let's be honest here. Michigan's more smash mouth, run it down your fucking throat, ball control type of team. This is where I disagree with you wholeheartedly, Christian. And I know you like to stroke your ego and you got your stats and your little playbook and you're writing down everything, brother. But I honestly think that I think Michigan's got more writing even on this season than Ohio State. I think just because of the question mark at quarterback. I just, for something about with me personally, just like Ohio State seems to me every time I fucking see them play, I've never seen them actually have a defensive, like, great game. Whether, especially at the end of the year, leading into the Michigan game or leading into obviously a bowl game last year. And they did play Georgia. I'm not getting into that. They probably should have won that game if it wasn't for coaching in the the kicker. But I guess my question is leading probably into our next topic. What is Ohio State's record coming into? There you go. That Michigan game.
I think this is a fantastic. I think this is a fantastic question. So let me break down the schedule here for you. I've got it pulled up.
See that game 4 there?
Oh yeah.
Does that bother you a little bit?
Not even remotely close. Not
even at Notre Dame. Notre Dame looked really good at the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, Notre Dame. Notre Dame was ranked 60th, I think, last year as far as total offense was concerned. I haven't really done a deep dive yet into Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's another one of those teams. They get really suspect when they get in big games. I'm not
100%.
worried that much. I'm not worried a lot about Notre Dame. I really would take Ohio State in that. Again, there's some, they have a similar schedule now that I'm looking at it to Michigan. I think
they do.
They play Indiana right off the rip. It's just a different version of it. Here's the reality. I'm going to cut right to it. They go 12-0.
Wow, the sack on this guy. So my question to you there, Mr. Big Penis. You just said Michigan's going 9-3. I mean, there's a 3-game discrepancy between the two. I mean, I feel like I feel either I can't figure it out yet. Like you're literally down on the corner paying for, Ohio State so you can suck them off, or you're like disregarding Michigan, giving you $50 for a BJ. Like, I can't figure this out, bro. Like that, there's a lot of, like, you think Ohio State basically is that much better, 3 games better before that game than Ohio State? Are you coming on air and protesting this and just screaming at everybody here watching the podcast?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I am. I will do it. Listen, here's the reality of the situation. You're probably wondering, hey, look, here's the reality of it. Okay.
Wow.
I am a Georgia fan through and through. I feel a little bad. I feel really bad. I'll be honest, they should have won that game. So I had to take Ohio State in this. And the more I looked at them, the more I realized. Say that again.
That's your narrative because you feel bad because Ohio State should have beat you guys in the playoff. Is that your? Chris, you get a little soft. Yeah. Maybe they're better.
I'm not getting soft. You went to national championships, and you can kind of feel bad for people, right? I'm just saying. I think the reality situation is really, and I feel this way. I think Jim Harbaugh has had a really good run up there in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
But I think Ryan Day and them, they have got some sneakily good things going on over there. I like the talent. Listen, it's really hard, in my opinion. I don't know about you. It's really hard to fuck up when you have some of the best talent in America. I mean, across your roster.
No. You're not wrong. If you want to go roster for like, in my opinion, as far as spot for spot, Ohio State has more 5 stars, right? Like if you rated it on that level, yes, I would agree with that. But I do love what Jim does over there at Michigan and how he's kind of changed the narrative, dude, with their smash mouth style of football play, which is not easy to do when you've been getting your ass kicked. I think before 2 years ago, it was like 15-16. They hadn't won a fucking game in like 8 years. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's kind of turned that narrative where Michigan believes that they can win that game. And they've proven the last 2 years. And there's obviously a lot of title implications on the line, right? So, like, that's where I'm just like, dude, it's in Ann Arbor. They got a shot here. This is going to be a big deal. I can't believe you're saying Michigan 9-3 and then you're riding the 12-0, 11-0 before that game, man. That's some hardcore dick riding, bro. That's right up there.
Here's the hard.
I'm going to call you an Ohio State fanboy from now on. That's just
yeah. Go Bucks there, eh?
Yeah. No, exactly,
listen,
dude.
Here's the other side of it. I fought back and forth with this because I wanted to really go 10-2, but I figured I'd play it safe. I'd say, look, and really it was between 10-2, 9-3. So really, you think, okay, maybe 2 games. You could at least see my reasoning there, right?
2 loss. Yeah. No. I could, but I can't believe into that game you actually think that like that Ohio State Michigan game is going to be one team 9-3 and one team 11-0. Like, that blows my mind. I actually think this year that what's the odds, I guess, to you, Christian, if you like to bet that both teams are undefeated before that game, because their schedules are pretty goddamn soft. Let's be honest.
I would say that the situation that I outlined, to me, probably the most realistic. I would say the fact that I would say the fact that one of them comes in with a loss, or the fact that maybe whatever have you, so it can be realistic too. The fact that somebody comes in undefeated, I should say, or both of them come in undefeated.
Yeah,
it can happen. I mean, it's happened in years past. Why could it not happen this year?
Right.
And I'm not trying to be.
Schedule, man.
And here's the thing. I think when you look at and I'll say this, and then I'll kind of be done with it, and we'll get into the bet here. I really think when you look at Michigan's roster versus Ohio State's roster, the talent gap, I would say the talent gap probably leans more Ohio State. The coaching probably leans a little more, just in the last couple of years, towards Michigan.
You just said it for me. You just answered my question.
If, and this is a big if, Ryan Day can figure the shit out, not have any slip-ups like he always does, and does not play Lincoln Riley-esque football, I like him this year.
Okay. All right. That brings us into the bet, which you seem to have a solid bet here you would like to make with me.
Here's the reality of it. Obviously, I'm taking Ohio State. You're taking Michigan in this game. Are you writing this down? Are you writing this down, Scribe?
I don't need to write it down. It's right up here, bro. I'm not the smartest clown in the planet, but I got this one, bro. I know that I'm not going to happen. I'm telling you, like, I'm literally not worried about this. I'm kind of worried about what you're going to have to do.
I'm more worried about you. Listen, I don't care. What the bet is on air, on the show here. Loser has to do a truffle shuffle shirtless, followed by a beer chug right away.
Okay, well, here, perfect, done deal. Shake your hand, virtual handshake. Let's be honest, the viewers are definitely going to want to see you do a truffle shuffle over me. So I already got like fate on my side here. Let's be honest, bro. I mean, that 300-pound ass of yours is, a lot of people are like, oh, that guy would do a good truffle shuffle, would he not? I mean, come on, bro.
Listen, I don't know. I think, look, maybe people want to see it. All right. If you do, I don't know what to say. I'm quietly building mass here for a combine that we're doing to see who can be.
Let's go right into that. Yes.
Yeah. So again, I mean, it's just one of those things where we have to sort of figure it out. I think we'll put it up. We've talked about it on other shows. Go back and check out the other shows if you're curious about that.
So I do have to ask you, currently right now on February 28th of 23, how's that bench press looking?
It's looking strong. It's looking a lot stronger. I mean, how much time?
What do you consider?
I would say about 18 reps today. 225.
Fucking with me, dude. There ain't no.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Dude, man, I'm looking at you right now and you're smirking as you say it. Come on, man.
I put up 18 reps without a spotter, just as a light warm-up.
You did 18 reps a day?
Yeah.
On like the Smith machine or like...
Bro, no, not the Smith machine.
Oh, bro.
If it was the Smith machine, I'd probably do 20 reps of like 400.
This guy. The fucking cock on this guy. All right. I'm actually, I know this is off topic, but this guy.
Listen,
this guy, okay, whoa, bro. I know I'm taking over this podcast right here with this. I know that I'm smoking your ass in the 40.
Allegedly.
I think that the bench press is going to be a coin flip. I'm not telling you what I'm doing right now. I got a good idea where I'm at. We got a couple months here. We haven't set a date yet exactly. What the fuck is the turning point? What is if we both split those, what are we doing? I mean, we were definitely not doing a vertical. That's for goddamn sure. We're not.
Yeah, there's only so much. There's only so much stuff we can do. I really don't want to do a 3-cone drill. That's more athletic stuff.
I know. I don't want to have to whoop your ass as an athlete, but I mean, like, where are we?
Okay, you said you could throw a football pretty far, right?
Oh yeah, can we do that?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do a football toss so you can throw it the farthest.
Oh, yes.
Is it a
Jared Lorenzen versus the second generation me of Will Levis. Here we go. Let's do it, bro. Let's fucking go.
Bro, you're if you were somebody, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Let me. I had to almost look this up. If I'm Mike Vick, you're Marcus Vick, okay?
Oh, whoa, what? Marcus was a fucking athlete, though, bro.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I made it to the league.
So you're telling me that you're like the older brother?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
This guy. Anyway, this guy. If you guys are watching this, somebody comment down in the bottom what do you guys all think what Christian's 40 time will be. And actually, by the way, I'll subscribe to your channel if you fucking tell me what he's going to bench press. That's where I'm at. How many reps at 225?
I love it, and I love it. Listen, when we do this, when we jump into this, by the way, I just want you to know right now, there is a special going on right now. It's a flash sale for AARP. It's a limited time offer from what I'm being told here. It's just $9 per year. Sign up for a 5-year membership. You might as well get a head start on it, you old son of a bitch.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, this is good, dude. This is good. Access to that's good stuff. Are we? I mean, we're finishing up the podcast here, and like I said, if anybody's still around, I appreciate it. But like, we're good with the ball toss. We're good.
I'm good with it.
You can think you throw the ball further than I can,
bro. First of all, I'm like a younger Uncle Rico. All right, if there was mountains out here, I could throw them over.
Oh my god, this guy is the next Mike Vick.
If the Arena Football League was still around, I would be a 3-time MVP.
Chances of the USFL drafting you after this combine?
I would say pretty high, specifically because it'll be going into the next calendar year probably because we're going to do this in 2 months.
You got a whole off season. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say here's the reality. I want to be drug tested immediately following this event. That's how good I want to be at this. By who? I don't even know. It could be a guy showing up in a white rickety van saying he needs to collect a specimen.
The guy.
I don't care. I won't ask questions, but I want to be that athletic on the field.
You can wish in one hand and shit in the other, Christian. I you know the rest of that statement. Look, bro, I want the best for you, bro. And I hope that you – so you know what? I'm going to add on to this bet. How far do you think you can throw it right now if you had to throw a fucking ball today?
How far do I think I can throw it?
On a college football field, how far can you throw it?
Cool 50, 60 yards probably.
Give me a number. 55?
Just to be a dick, I'll go 57.
Shit, dude, I already won this. All right, good. Perfect.
Here we won this.
I already won this. Yeah, this is easy 2 out of 3 because I'm definitely not losing the 40. I might lose in the bench press, but I'm not going to die. I might sweep your ass. If I sweep your ass, that's a great bet.
When's the last time you threw a football on a football field?
On an actual football field? A year ago.
Yeah. About a year ago. Okay.
Bro, I got an arm, bro. I was actually supposed to be a quarterback. I had to play wide receiver. I didn't have a quarterback.
Oh Lord, here we go. This is going to be this. I was put in the wrong generation.
No. I didn't make no excuses. I'm just saying I can throw a fucking football though.
That brings up.
You know, every wide receiver was a quarterback, right?
Who just couldn't throw?
No, it's probably because they didn't have anybody to throw to. So if it's just somebody chuck it up and go ahead, Chris / Randy Moss, go get it. Let's be honest. I mean, every wide receiver, the quarterback wide receiver comparison is very, very evident. Julian Edelman, I could go down the list of people. Travis Kelce, man, he was a quarterback in college even. Bro plays tight end in the NFL. Probably the best one there's ever been. I'll put him right up there with Gronk. Come on, man. Come on. You man, I'm not killing you on this conversation, bro. We all know.
No, not even close. Listen, it's just like I want to give you a comparison right now. You're more like who would it be? You're like one of those new Bryson one of those new golfers, if you will, right?
You're like DeChambeau,
yeah, Bryson DeChambeau over there. I'm more like John Daly, okay?
You're smoking cigarettes and fucking drinking a 12-pack on the course. You might be hitting the ball 400, but you're 4-putting every hole. I mean, I mean, Christian, you actually do remind me of John Daly a little bit, man. That's right in that alley, actually. Look, bro, I don't have much more to say about this. I know we kind of rattled on about this competition, but I would love again to say, if anybody's watching this, please tell me what Christian's how many times. If you got, I'll buy whoever hits his fucking number on the reps, a 225. I'll buy you a 12-pack and send it your way. So please comment on that shit. Please.
40 yard dash, at least a solid 4.85. Let's go. Going to the next.
Running no sub fucking 5. This fucking guy.
If I run a sub 5,
you're probably You're actually probably playing on Sundays in the USFL.
I don't even think they play on Sundays, bro. I think they play on like Tuesdays.
That's only that. Really?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
They wanted to be. You want to go play for them?
Well, I mean, yeah, I might as well. I mean, I'll show up to the game with six beers deep. Let's go.
Oh, fucking yeah, 5 or 6 with whiskey sours before the game. Hell yeah.
Hey man, it is what it is. Oh, Marshawn Lynch did some Henny before the game. I think I earned that, being a strong safety in the USFL.
Well, you want to put yourself in the same breath as Marshawn Lynch. Here we are. Go ahead, though, Christian. Let's wrap it up, bro.
Let's get into the last thing here. All right, hot take: Kansas State wins the Big 12 again. What do you think?
No, I think the Big 12 is a fucking train. Not ran on your mom, but I'm talking about a train that like is ran on the Big 12. Like it's like every year. Was it not last year? You said, and I agreed with you. Like Baylor was a top team. I'm going to throw a dark horse team who I think I'm going to make this really quick. I know everybody. What's the Manning kid? He's at Texas. I think they'll be relevant. I think Oklahoma will be better. I will not say K-State. I know they're returning people, and they did upset TCU in that game. I watched it. It was a hell of a football game. But the Big 12 to me is like you could like fucking throw a dart at a dartboard at 12 of those teams, and somebody might have a chance there. So I'm gonna go. If I had to, I know it doesn't say that, but I'm gonna sit here and say probably I'm gonna actually take a really wild horse bet. I'm gonna say Oklahoma.
I like that. Listen, I can't disagree with you on this. Could they make it to the Big 12 championship game?
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah, that's realistic. But to say that they're going to win it again, I don't think so. I think here's the reality of the situation. They do have some good pieces coming back. But the weird thing about the Big 12 is it's like a deck of cards. You throw it up in the air and you play 52 pickup. It just never is. I remember last year, you could have, before the season started, you could have locked in Baylor going back to the Big 12 championship game. They didn't. Oklahoma State every year. Oh my God, they're going to do something great.
Team. Yeah.
It just cycles through, and it's always really random too. I know Oklahoma's always been a lock in there. I think they're going to get better next year. I like Oklahoma. I think Texas again. They're recruiting at an elite level right now with old Sark over there. If they can keep that Quinn Ewers kid healthy, I like Texas next year a lot. I like them a lot.
I would agree with you on this, and this is not, I guess, really a hot take because we kind of agree on this that like K-State, man, I kind of feel like they were kind of that, like I said, kind of that wild card. Not that K-State wasn't a good football team last year and they didn't deserve to be there. They did. They played their asses off. They had Adrian Martinez filling in some of the year from, obviously my Nebraska team the year before for 4 years. They're not a bad team, but it's more to me. It's more like you said, Baylor was kind of, I thought before the year, I think everybody was high on Baylor. I think people were relatively high on Oklahoma. I think that when they beat Nebraska, I went to that football game, by the way. That was Mickey's first coaching game here. I don't think they won a single fucking game after they beat us. You know what I mean? It was rough, but I did watch Oklahoma in person. I did see a lot of things I liked. They come back with a lot of people on that team. They're going to be tough. Texas is the one, like I said, it was the other one. I think that Oklahoma-Texas game kind of decides that side of things. And who's to say? I mean, is Iowa State bringing anybody back? They're a team that's been relatively competitive the last couple of years in the conversation as well, right? You had the Brock Purdy years. I'm not talking about him in the NFL, but I'm talking about him. Breece Hall, they had some really good players on those teams. So, I mean, they're in. I mean, I think, like you said, you could basically, like, I call it a dartboard. You say 52 pickup, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just don't see. Like I said, I don't see them winning it again. I think it was great. I think they'll have a great season. I think I looked at their schedule. They could probably rattle off a winning season, and that's pretty good for Kansas State. Any team in Kansas, you have a winning season, you're good. You go bowling, hey, you're doing better than what we thought. So yeah,
right. No, 100% agree. That's better than Nebraska's been in the last 4 or 5 years. So that we don't do any bowling here. We sit at home. So,
well, guys, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the I-80 Boys. We're going to be back at it again on Saturday, so be sure to catch us probably Sunday morning by the time we get this uploaded, and we look forward to doing another episode with you.
Right, and I appreciate everybody that has kind of been following us or whatever. I know I kind of chime in here like the random scrub that I am, as Christian says. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I will. We're going to have some hot takes here on Saturday. I would be tuned and stay tuned into this. By the way, like I said, I'm going to say it for a third fucking time now. If you are watching this, I want to know what you guys think. How many reps will Christian Hunt, a.k.a. Jared Lorenzen, 2-point motherfucking O, do on bench press? I will literally send you a 12-pack of your choice of beer. Comment in the section below, please. I truly will. Christian, you got that? How many reps do you think you're going to do, Christian? 28.
At least 18.
This guy's getting cocky every day. All right, perfect. So if you think Christian can do 18, give me another number, because he definitely isn't doing 18 in my book. Here we are. All right, Christian, I got that's all I got, man. Let's wrap it up with that, man. I appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. I know like I said, we're sitting here and we love talking football. So like I said, if we can get a little more traction here and people comment in the sections, man, we'll definitely reply to post and talk on any subject people want to talk about. So like I said, thank you guys all.